talking about the part of Cinco de Mayo that actually matters, the part that ties into what's happening right now with Iran. Stay with me because this is not a stretch. This is history. May 5th, 1862. Mexico is broke. Mexico owes France money. France decides we are not taking payments, we're just taking the damn country. France sends its military, the most feared army on the planet, undefeated for 50 years. And Mexico sends 2,000 soldiers to stop them. But here's the part that nobody puts on the margarita menu. In 1862, Napoleon III was about to formally recognize the Confederate States of America, putting a French empire on the U.S. southern border. This was going to tip the war in favor of the South. Puebla stopped that. One battle bought 1 year. 1 year which the Union used to turn the tide, issued the Emancipation Proclamation, making it politically impossible for Europe to back a slave state. Mexico's resistance at Puebla is one of the factors cited by historians as preserving the Union and stopping the Civil War on the timeline that it ended on. Mexican miners and laborers in California began celebrating Cinco de Mayo in 1863, not because they were told to, but because they had been watching the Civil War and they understood the significance of that battle and what it meant for their freedoms. These are communities that were already living under intense discrimination, already being pushed out, already being told that they did not belong in a country that their ancestors helped build. So they celebrated a small nation, their nation, standing up to an empire and winning. The first documented Cinco de Mayo celebrations in the country were explicitly political. A Mexican-American community expressing their solidarity with the Mexico resistance and the Union cause, understanding that the two were connected. Now look at what's happening right now. The U.S. is in a conflict with Iran. And no matter your politics, no matter which side you're on, I want you to sit with this framing. Iran is a country that has watched foreign powers decide its fate for over a century. The British controlled their oil in the early 1900s. The U.S. backed a coup in 1953, which overthrew their democratically elected prime minister. They have been sanctioned, isolated, and pressured by outside forces for decades. I'm not telling you that Iran's government is good, and I'm not telling you that their leadership represents the people. That's not the receipt. The receipt is this. When a people, any people, believe that they're fighting for their survival, their land, their very existence, they fight differently. That's not propaganda. That's Puebla. That's every underdog in history that had no choice but to win. And the question we should be asking right now isn't just what is the military strategy? It should be, what does history tell us happens whenever an outside power decides that it knows better than the people that live on that land? Mexican Americans didn't celebrate Cinco de Mayo because it was a party. They celebrated it because it was proof that a people with less money, less weapons, less everything could hold the line against an empire when the stakes were their very survival. That receipt doesn't expire. And that's not an opinion, that's history. Follow, because I ask the questions nobody else is asking.